Hey, so today we're going to talk about Totally T-Boz episode 2. It starts off with T-Boz in the kitchen cooking breakfast, well, but it's like midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. And she's cooking breakfast because she's stressed out. So she knows she don't have no syrup. So she calls Tara to come over, and Tara brings syrup, and everybody get up and they have breakfast or whatever. Then it gets late, so Tay tell everybody go to bed. So the next day, Kale and T-Boz, they're at the studio, and they're looking for a new song for her to come out with. And then they're talking about Atlanta, because she's telling him she needs to go back to Atlanta to loosen up, tighten up loose ends, you know what I'm saying. But yeah, she wants to do that, and then she wanted to have Chase meet her, well, not meet her dad, but see her dad, because she hasn't seen her dad, I think, since the girl was like 18 months old. So they talk about that then, so they get into the kind of song she wants. And the song that they played, Champion, kind of give me a feel of the Janet Jackson kind of song, the way they were playing it. So I hope it's a good song. Like I said, I'm rooting for T-Boz, but I just don't feel like they should. I don't know. I have mixed feelings about the TLC whole comeback and are doing solo careers. I just have a whole little thing. So I'm a big TLC fan and I don't want her to flop. That's all I'm saying. I just really don't want her to flop. Anyway, her and Chase go to Atlanta and she meets up with her dad and they have this talk or whatever. And I like how the talk was because they didn't argue. They both listened to each other and stuff like that. So I really liked that with her and her dad. And then she let him meet Chase because, like I said, she wants him and Chase to be cool with each other and have that relationship she didn't have with him. So, you know, it was a really nice conversation that he even had with Chase. He was like, you can email me, you can call me, you can Facebook me, you can Twitter me. So that was cool because he didn't know how to say tweet, so he said Twitter me. So that was cool. Anyway, T-Boz go to Via 103 in Atlanta, it's a radio station, and they talk about how she wants to come back with her radio solo career, and he was all forward for it, so that was cool. T-Boz meet up at her friend Stephanie's house because she needs to pick up some things that she had left by and transition to moving. So they going through all the little stuff about TLC or whatever, and she was telling Chase, I guess, really how, you know, about Left Eye dying. And she was telling her how she had a dream that it was going to be her, but it was Left Eye or whatever. So that was cool, and they was all crying, and Stephanie was crying, talking about how she was glad that she was back in her life, and yada, yada, yada. So then her other friends come over, and they tell her that they want to have one last night before she goes back to L.A. So they go to the skating ring that everybody in Atlanta go to, that they grew up going to, and when she walks in, they have a surprise party for her. And y'all know Stevie J was there. Ew. Please, T-Boz, run away from Stevie J. Don't invite him to no more of y'all parties. Bad luck. Anyway, the mayor, I think it was, he came, he gave her a key to the city and gave her a T-Boz day. And so that was cool. What else happened at the skate ring? Okay, they had the skate ring. Okay, Tara, Tay, and Barb, they out there walking, and they're talking about T-Boz's way because Tara's acting like T-Boz needs to lose all this weight if she wants to be this industry girl in Hollywood. And they like, why she have to do that? If she could be an average chick and all this stuff. That's what her and Barb was going back and forth. And the way Tara was talking made me want to reach through the screen and punch her in the face. If T-Boz is your friend, you supposed to be just like Barb and like, fuck what the industry say. My homegirl is good. Her body is good. Just let her get her in shape and be healthy because y'all know she got health issues. So why does she have to be a size 2 to be in the industry knowing she has health issues? Like, come on, Tara, shut the fuck up. Sorry, but I just don't like Tara. So if I cuss on this, it's because I don't like her. I don't like the friendship she has with T-Boz. Because it seems like it's not a healthy relationship with her. It's like you gonna get her into trouble and you know, like, come on now. Friends don't let's say friends run into trouble. They try to steer them away from trouble, and I think Tara is the devil on her shoulder that gets her in trouble, and I don't like that. Anyway, they all in the kitchen, and I don't know if they was cooking or eating or whatever, but they all start noticing T-Boz not looking herself, and they noticing that she's not feeling well, and you can tell, like, when she was talking, like, she was kind of slurring her words, and she wasn't really there. So, later on that night, they take her to the hospital, come and find out her sickle cell, I think, was messing up on her, and she's thinking her tumor is back, so then they don't show her being sick, they just know that she's away in the hospital, and then they show Kale and all of the family at the house, spending time with each other, and they playing these robot things, which looks, they're kind of fun. But Kale, he wants to have a talk with his niece or whatever, and he wants to see how she was feeling. And Chase was like, my uncle never talked to me like this, and I'm glad he did. And it was a really cool talk. I really liked that, how he was looking out for her. T-Boz, she goes to the doctor, and they tell her that they need to do an MRI because she said she was hearing ringing in her ears, and that's a sign that the tumor can be back. So, yeah, he was telling her she needed MRI. She doesn't really like MRI because she feels claustrophobic, but it's something that she really needs. So then she goes to the doctor, goes back to get the MRI, and she's telling this stupid-ass nurse that her veins are. And I know how that is because my veins are like that, too. When I go to the doctor, it's hard for them to find veins or whatever. So I understand where she was coming from, and at least that nurse wasn't getting it or something, but when, I guess after a couple of tries, she finally got what she was saying. So, yeah, that's all that really happened on this episode. It was really about her health and stuff like that, and I really hope that she gets better. I hope her tumor isn't back, because I know how that is. And like I said, if anybody don't know, I have one right here in my face, and I have got it out, and it has came back, and this time it's worse, so I have to get surgery to get it removed again. So, so I understand how she feels, and I understand how scared she was or whatever. I really do. So anyway, make sure you rate, comment, subscribe this video. Share this video on your Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, whatever. Follow me on Twitter at thaghettoview, THA, not THE. Facebook me at thaghettoview. Instagram me at Miss Nika, MIZZNEKA69. Yeah, talk to me and I'll talk back. All right, peace.